Good morning everyone, it's Miss Yulia here and it's time for us to have some English. Open your copybooks and put down the date. And today we're going to learn some new words. Look at this picture. What do you think we'll speak about today? What can you see in the picture? Great! Today we'll start speaking about professions. You already know some professions in English, so look at the picture and try to name as many professions as you can. So, can you name the professions in the picture? Great, and I have a riddle for you. I will think of a profession and your task will be to guess. It will be super easy. Look at the sentences. I teach children. I work in a school. What am I? Of course, I'm a teacher, so it was very easy. Mind, when you want to ask about a profession, you need to ask what are you, not who are you, but what are you. When you ask what are you, it means that you want to know the person's profession. If you ask me, Miss Yulia, what are you? I will tell you I am a teacher. But if you ask me who are you, I will tell you that I am Miss Yulia. Okay? So, what I want you to do now, in your copybooks, please think of all the professions that you know in English. You can draw a bubble, a cloud, or you can just write them down as you want. For example, you definitely know the word teacher. Now pause the video and think of more professions that you know. And let's continue. Today our task will be to revise some professions and to learn more professions. Look at this activity, please. Can you see the picture with a mouth? It means that you need to talk here. You don't have to write. But if you want, you can write. Please do it. В заданиях с такой картинкой нужно говорить, писать не обязательно. So, look at this picture. I'm sure you know this profession. Who is it? Say the sentence, please. This is a pilot. Very nice. Let's use the word pilot in context. A pilot, here you need to tell me what a pilot does. For example, a pilot works in a hospital. Is it true? Of course, no. What does a pilot do? A pilot flies planes. Amazing. Where does a pilot work? A pilot works in an airport. Please don't forget to put down this word. If you don't know it, put it down with the Russian translation. Now pause the video and read all the sentences yourself. Great. Now look at this picture. This is what is the person doing in the picture? The person is writing. So this is a writer. Great. A writer, what does a writer do? A writer writes books. Very nice. Look at this picture. This is a fisherman. Good. What does a fisherman do? A fisherman fishes. Great. Where does a fisherman work? Look at the picture. A fisherman works on a boat. Amazing job. Now pause the video and read all the sentences yourself to practice the new words in speech. And I have some questions for you. Let's have more practice. What can a pilot fly? So here again, you need to say the sentences. You don't have to write them. So pause the video and answer the question. For example, a pilot can fly a dragon. What can a pilot fly? Question number 2. What famous writers do you know? So here you need to say, tra-ta-ta is a famous writer. And question number 3. What does a fisherman do? Does a fisherman teach children at school? Does a fisherman fly helicopters or planes? So you need to pause the video and say, a fisherman sells vegetables, for example. Let's discuss more words. Don't forget to put down all the words in your copybook. Even if you know the word, put it down. Practice it in writing, okay? Who is it? This is not a doctor. This is a person who helps a doctor. In English, we call it a nurse. So this is a nurse. Very nice. What does a nurse do? A nurse helps people, and a nurse helps doctors, of course. Where does a nurse work? It's very easy. Say the sentence. Don't forget to say it A nurse works in a hospital. Very nice. Now look, don't forget to put it down, and look at this picture. This is a vet. So it's similar to the Russian word, right? Look, a nurse helps people. And what about a vet? Look at the picture. Who does a vet help? A vet helps animals, of course. And if a nurse works in a hospital, a vet works in an animal hospital. Great. Picture number 3. Look at this man. He's very strong. This is a weight lifter. It's a very tricky word. It's a very tricky profession. So let's spell it, please. W-E-I-G-H-T, lifter. Let's say it together. Weight lifter. Good. So a weightlifter is an athlete, a sportsman. So what does a weightlifter do? A weightlifter does sports. Very easy. And if he does sports, where does he work? A weightlifter works in a... Can you name a place where people can do sports? In a stadium. Very nice. Or in a gym, you can say. These are my variants. You might have yours. Now it's time to practice our new words in speech. Where can you see a weightlifter? Can you see a weightlifter in a hospital or at school? Pause the video and say a sentence. I can see a weightlifter in a bank, for example. Not in a bank. Try to make your sentence logical. What does a nurse do? We've discussed it. What does a nurse do? And question number 3. Where does a vet work? A vet works in an... Great, let's move on. We have 2 more professions to discuss, but these professions are very dangerous, опасные, but very important. Look at the first picture. What profession is it? This is a firefighter. Guys, repeat after me. Firefighter. It's a tricky word. So it's a combination of 2 words. Fire, you know this word, and fighter. Боец. So it's a firefighter. What does a firefighter do? I will give you a hint. What does a firefighter fight? С чем он сражается? A firefighter fights fire, of course. And where does a firefighter work? A firefighter works in a fire station. Very nice. Please pause the video and read the sentences because a firefighter is a very difficult word to pronounce. Let's practice it as much as possible. And don't forget to put it down in your copybooks. Profession number 2. This is a police officer, of course. What does a police officer do? A police officer helps people, definitely, but a police officer also catches criminals. What does it mean to catch? So if you throw something, I will catch it. So a police officer catches bad people. We call bad people criminals. Great. And a firefighter works in a fire station and a police officer works in a police station. Of course, very nice. Are you ready for the most difficult task ever? Okay, let's try. Can you remember all the professions? What do they do and where do they work? You can use your copybook with the new words. Your task here is to pause the video, look at the pictures and try to say the sentences about these professions. For example, look at picture number 1. This is a pilot. A pilot flies planes. A pilot works in an airport. Now try to remember everything about the rest of the professions. If you can add more information, please do it. Pause the video and try to say the sentences. The last task for today is to write a riddle. A riddle means загадка. Choose a profession and write a riddle in your copybook. So now you need to write. Do you remember my riddle in the very beginning of the webinar? Let's read it once again. I teach children. I work in a school. What am I? I am a teacher. So your task now is to choose one profession from our list and to write a riddle about this profession in your copybooks. Ваше задание сейчас выбрать одну профессию и написать загадку по модели про учителя, как в моей загадке. Please don't forget to show your riddles to me. Have a good day, everyone, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.